Hello, my name is Ralph Nappi. As you know, I'm president of NPES. And I'm here with a real exciting short video because I want to share with you something that we've been looking forward to for about a year and a half now. And that is NPES, with the help of Premier, our research arm, is finally able to get out to you a study that we've been talking about for a year and a half, which is the worldwide market for print. I have Dave Humphreys here with me. He's with the Economist Intelligence Unit, who we hired to do this. He's in charge of custom research for the Economist Intelligence Unit, and they've worked with us on this project for since the beginning. We're excited about it because the scope of this is, as the title suggests, worldwide. And we haven't done this since 2009. Our first effort was in 2007. It was renewed in 2009. But when we decided at the NPS Board of Directors' suggestion to renew it, we went out and got the Economist organization to help us with this. So Dave's going to spend some time and tell us about the scope. I'm going to ask him a few questions. I have some questions here. But as a member, what you'll be getting is, you'll be getting a synopsis of the report very soon, if not already. And unique to this particular study, you'll be getting the full executive summary, which I would suggest is very well written, and please take the time to go over this. So it's about 30 pages, but a very good resource. So Dave, let's take a second and share with the NPS members, what's the scope of the study? How many countries have we looked at? What type of printing processes and things like that? Give us an idea of what the Economist Intelligence Unit and you and your team did.
Well, Ralph, we looked at the entire market. 51 countries around the world represent 90% of the global GDP, which is really covering the entire aspect of the market. We looked at 18 different product segments, ranging from publishing to packaging to print advertising, and certainly looked at inputs within that, substrates and inks, equipment and consumable markets, and have different segments within that. So it was really an all-encompassing look, and certainly looking with individual segments around the world.
So 90% of the total market is by how many countries?
So we have 51 countries.
Wow.
Of those 51 countries, they cover 91% of global GDP. So it really represents that worldwide perspective that you were talking about.
Okay, so what did you find as you got into these markets and studies? What were the emerging ones? What were the ones that were challenged?
Well, in terms of countries, clearly China rose to the top in terms of an area of opportunity, which is something we'll talk about. Today, it represents the second largest print market in the world. By 2017, it will surpass the U.S. market in overall size in terms of revenue. That really doesn't come in terms of surprise. It's also the bulk of the additional growth that offers in the next 5 years for print markets. Other markets that you would anticipate opportunity of Brazil and India certainly rose to the top, but other ones of Vietnam and Indonesia, Hungary, Ukraine, markets that certainly offer opportunity to certain segments around the world. From a product standpoint, packaging certainly rose to the top.
Right. No surprise there,
from a
right?
Perspective.
But worldwide, so packaging, not just in the U.S., but worldwide.
And this is one of the segments. It's expected to grow a compound annual growth rate of 4% between 2012 and 2017. That is 8%, double that amount within emerging markets. So certainly there is areas of opportunity both in developed and developing countries, but packaging driven by rising incomes, demographics, urbanization, certainly helping impact packaging.
You know what's
demand.
interesting, and some of our members will remember this, from the 2009 study, I remember this like it was clear because I would quote this data. In 2009, the U.S. marketplace, print market, was twice the size of Japan, who was number 2 at the time, and China, who was rising to number 3. To think in this short time period, again, another reason why we update the study, that China is not only going to be growing, but surpass us by 2017 in that short time span. It's pretty amazing. Another question. What print sector we talked about that already, is developing. All right, what about, give me 2 additional print sectors that will provide continuing growth, particularly in developing countries, in addition to what you said?
Well, the other 2 segments that you certainly have to talk about in this market is A, in the publishing side.
All right.
Those are markets that don't really expect any growth within developing countries, but in developing markets, we still expect an 8% compound annual growth rate to 2017.
Wait, 8%?
8%.
Wow.
If you look at the segment of magazines itself, additional $12 billion in revenue will be added. All of that comes within emerging markets. So it is a segment that offers growth. And again, it is really within that broad sort of economic development, and people rising incomes and demographics that allow people to access that type of product.
Now, I know India is particularly noteworthy. Their demographics, is it because of what's driving the growth there in India?
Well, with India, you certainly have youth. It's
right.
one of the youngest populations around the world.
Okay.
And that demographic dividend that certainly China has benefited over the last 15 years is something that India is in the process of exploring and developing right now.
And their literacy, obviously, their growing literacy is a big part.
Certainly that has a great impact.
I remember reading in the study that newspaper is growing in leaps and bounds in India today. Even in the U.S., as we're challenged by newspaper, in India, it's a growth market.
Yeah, certainly within the development curve, you see a lot of opportunity, even for that basic publishing, print material, newspaper and books, and magazines, within those markets that have gone to a level of developing middle class.
Okay.
And certainly India is one of those.
Good. I want to be respectful of our time. I got two more questions. Relative to the growing push for eco-friendliness that we're seeing in our industry, okay, what sectors have you seen will benefit from this trend?
Well, I think those sectors, and packaging is a great one, that have an area and opportunity to innovate. Smaller packaging, and those that are inks, areas that are eco-friendly in terms of the products. You have opportunities for innovation. The value segment, classes even within developed markets that are looking for value, that see recyclable material, that use smaller type of packaging, is certainly something that we see as opportunity.
All right, good. And the last question, who needs this information and how should they use it? In your view, I mean, you've done a lot of studies, Dave, in the years that you worked with the Economist Intelligence Unit. You know the profile. How can members best use it? What are your thoughts?
I really think anyone who is in the value chain in the broader print industry will benefit tremendously from this, because it gives a perspective of where those opportunities are, where are those potential markets, with details of really how to be able to compete within those markets. It certainly looks at the broader dynamics that are impacting the industry, from traditional areas like publishing to new areas like packaging, and laying that out. So anybody who is in the print industry, the service providers, the technology manufacturers, those in substrates, will give a clear direction of where those opportunities are. If you look at the total market, the market will grow by $70 billion in absolute terms by 2017. So that means there's opportunity, but it gives some type of direction on which markets and areas to focus.
Okay, very good. Both the countries and the segments.
And the segments, absolutely.
Good, terrific. Dave, thanks for being with us. I appreciate it. Again, after a year and a half, we're very pleased to release the study. Be on the lookout for both the synopsis and the executive summary. We're very proud of it, and let me hear from you after you get it. Thank you.